Nashua, and other agencies. So there will be no involvement from HUD on how they implement that process, other than we'll be making sure that the federal government and we, the taxpayers, get $3 million plus worth of value of planning out of this grant.
We don't want it.
That's it. So it's HUD is not really concerned whether they, how people, how it is going to be implemented. We just want to know that we've gotten the value for the money for the taxpayers. We will come in, we're going to participate, we're going to send people to their meetings, we're going to watch to make sure there's progress going on. We're going to do contract administration, making sure that, when they write a check to somebody, that yes, the check was the right organization for the right amount of money. What we're not going to do, and what we won't do, is come in and say, we don't like the way that you're doing that. You should implement rules about zoning, or you should implement rules about planning, or you should, make all these towns participate together. That we don't like the way the plan is working. We're going to give an awful lot of leeway to how the plan is implemented, as long as, as I said, that we get the value for money. Now, let me just talk a little bit about planning commissions. I've done probably 24 of these meetings across the state already. I used to be a member of the New Hampshire legislature, was the assistant majority leader, and stood next to one of your counselors in the State House. I know a lot about regional planning commissions. Regional planning commissions are a product of New Hampshire state law. And as we all know, there's no home rule in New Hampshire. You get to do, as a city or town, only what the legislature has empowered you to do. One of the things they've empowered you to do is to do planning and zoning. That's, that's the authority that's been granted. HUD has no authority to come in and tell you how you're going to do your planning and zoning. We can't tell you to implement a zoning change. There's no CDBG money that you're taking that would require you to change the way you do business here in the city. There's just no connections there. So, and I understand people are concerned that there are other entities out there looking to influence individual personal property rights here in the state of New Hampshire. HUD has no ability to affect that whatsoever. Between you, your state rep, your state senator, your county officers, it has nothing to do, with HUD per se. We don't get involved. Last thing I just want to talk about real briefly is what will happen from here. Whether the city signs on board or not, they've already started to have meetings. The Grand State Futures Program is having meetings. They're going to develop plans. One concern that a lot of folks have had, and I think that the city council should be aware of, is what happens if you do or you don't sign onto the program. It's required, and the way the federal law works today is that the federal government cannot penalize you for not participating in a particular program. Those of you who've been around for a while remember when Governor Sununu said, we're not going to change the speed limit here in the state so we can get federal transportation dollars. The government said, we're not going to give you that money. Where it said, oh, you can't actually do that. So the state got its federal transportation dollars and we didn't have to change our speed limits. It's the same way here. If you do not participate, you are not going to be penalized. Now, this administration has a program that's on grant administration that they've implemented. What they will do, or what they can do, I'm not saying that either EPA or HUD or any other agency can do, there is a possibility that in future grants for other programs from HUD, from EPA, from any other agency, that they can award bonus points for those who do participate.
Right.
And so when grant evaluations are done, that may or may not be a factor. Let me just tell you, I've been here at HUD now for a number of years. We've never had a grant that was affected by bonus points one way or the other, whether it be this administration or the previous administration. We get the same amount of money. We are the tail at the end of the wagon, the dog with the wagging tail. These programs are not designed for New Hampshire or Rochester or Manchester or Nashua. these programs are designed with in mind for New York City and New Orleans and LA, big cities that are looking to do this kind of sustainable, livable walking communities. We know that, and HUD knows that that's not going to be an issue here in New Hampshire. We're not going to move everybody into downtown Rochester and outside of all the different communities and build high rises and make walkable communities. It just doesn't work that way. What we are doing, or what HUD has recognized, is that every community, whether it be this, a very small unincorporated town or a large city or an entitlement city like Rochester, would like to do some planning so that they understand what they may be able to do or build a roadmap for the future, not just with what's required by state law and master plan, but to actually work in association with the regional planning commissions. And basically HUD is funding the regional planning commissions to do the job that they are already required to, and which you've already signed on to in terms of participation by being a member of the regional planning commission. We're providing additional funding for that process. And that's quite simply it. There are no strings attached. I know people won't believe that, but there are no strings attached to the funding money that's coming from this program. No matter what the recitals say about